president. Whenever they have it, I think they do that in right at the beginning of March, if I'm not mistaken. But anyhow, he's very deserving. He's worked his way up in the chamber. He's a very active member. He and his wife Stephanie reside here in Opelousas, and along with their young son Cross. And Trey is, if you need something around Evangeline Downs, you're not sure of who to visit, who to call on, who to see, call Trey Thibodeau at Evangeline Downs, and he will take care of it. And I can assure you, I have a lot of confidence he's going to do an excellent job as president of our St. Landry Chamber of Opelousas St. Landry Chamber of Commerce.
Excellent.
And they got a whole group of outstanding,
very active people. Our friend Sue Brignac over with Washington State Bank, I know, is big on the board.
She might be upcoming president.
She's like I think Trey's going to be like the chairman, and she's going to be the president. I guess is how it goes. I think that's how it goes, something like that.
Yeah, she's going to be an officer. You're right.
What else we got? You want to hit? So let's hit the obituaries. I'm going to start with one right here. Miss Joanne DeVilliers from Port Barre passed away, only 56 years old. She had some illnesses, but this was kind of unexpected. You and I know her, but also know the family very well. Her one daughter, Jill DeVilliers, who works over at Dupre Carrier here in Opelousas. We've been friends with a long time. She worked over at the same location as the OPAC office at one time as well. Her sister, Margie DeVilliers, as well. Margie DeVilliers Duplechamp, who worked at the Port Barre office and at the Opelousas office. Our condolences to the whole family. I got a chance to go by the funeral home and visit with the family for a little while. And gonna miss him.
Another person who died recently, and he was buried last Thursday, February the 16th, was Marks, better known as MC Como, Mr. Mark Como, but by all his friends was MC. He worked at I'll get it, Lafon Ordway Funeral Home for approximately 65 years. He started as an ambulance driver. That was the ambulance service that you had around the nation back in those days. You didn't have Acadian and Med Express and the St. Landry EMS here in Opelousas.
That was part of what the funeral home did. When you saw the hearse, you didn't know if it was a death or if it was just somebody going as an ambulance.
He started as an ambulance driver in 1945, and he finished his career as a funeral director. Real nice. He was the man you saw when you went to and it was Lafon Funeral Home, and then they merged with the Lafon Ordway, became Lafon Ordway. My deepest sympathies, and his wife.
Their location at that time was where? Which one was which?
Well, they were downtown.
Downtown. That's
and
now the Museum and Interpretive Center. Now that's in that building.
No, that was Sabille Funeral Home.
Sabille was there.
Yeah, and they were downtown, and also down. I don't know. No, they've been down on that location. They bought that. That was the Tony Sashry home.
Correct.
That
south of Opelousas.
Big building was built as Tony Sashry's home. They've been there for many, many, many years.
My grandfather, Thomas Stanford, early 70s was there.
First National Funeral Home was downtown also.
First National Funeral Home.
Yeah,
never heard that.
They gone. They out, but they're not longer here anyhow. And of course, Mr. MC Como is survived by his wife of 67 years, Miss Irene. So our deepest sympathies. Another death is Miss Ruby Landry, and of course her funeral will be held today, Thursday, February 23rd at 10:30 a.m. at St. John Catholic Church in Lewisburg, Louisiana. And her daughter includes one daughter, Dora Clay, and her husband Merlin in Opelousas here. Then that brings you to Kent Clay and his wife Monette Carrier.
Right.
And of course Kent, I brag on him all the time. He takes care of extermination. He works for Ordway Exterminating Company here in Opelousas.
Big LSU fan too. Every time I see him, as he's spraying, he says, "What you hearing about the recruits?"
So our deepest sympathies on these recent deaths of people that I did know.
And what else we got? Man, we're in good shape. I think we've taken care of the majority of what you got. Got some more notes. We don't want to miss nobody. We got all our obituaries done. We got all our sponsors done.
Good to see that the mayor and the alderman got together and
passed the budget.
Passed the budget.
That was a big event.
That's a big event. And also the Rotary Club. We spoke about the library. You went to a luncheon last week.
Correct.
I was out of town at a meeting, but I don't know if this came in after, I think.
Must
the
have.
Friends of the Library received a check for $15,500
Wow.
from the Rotary Club of Opelousas, Louisiana. How about
And
that?
representing them is Gerald Patu, Carolyn Jarrell, Estelle Perrault, and Miss Betty Wolf representing the Friends. And from the Rotary Club, I see Reverend Desatel.
Yep. And just
Very
want to
good.
congratulate the volunteers for the library and, of course, all those hard workers that made this big contribution available. The Rotary
Oh, no
Club of
kidding.
Opelousas.
That's a
Thank
big
y'all
thing.
very, very much.
Got to educate you folks.
I thought with the computerization age and all that, the libraries would have gone to the wayside, but they're more popular today than they've ever
Because
been.
they got the computers there too. If you need a computer, it's the best place. Someone during the week called. They said, we have a customer that needs to get something printed out, and our computers, I don't think we're set up for that with the security wise. So tell them to go to the local library, go right in, they can print whatever they need.
The American Bank and Trust and the holding company, American Bank Corp. Inc. Of Opelousas here, proud to announce that Ronald Lachute has been appointed as the president of the bank. In the past, Sal Deasy was the president, and of course he died.
Ronnie's been CEO for 20-some-odd years.
Oh, he's been there. He's part of the bank. And then Joey Deasy was elected to serve as chairman of the board. He's been a member of the board for a while.
Good close friend.
Laney Deasy, we call her Laney. I see this show here, Elaine, but
Right.
everybody calls her Laney, has been appointed to the board of directors of the bank. And of course, she's a daughter of Sal's.
Right.
And then George Como has been appointed to be the secretary of the bank and the bank corp. And Rachel Dupre Shaheen was promoted to assistant vice president of the bank.
Very good.
A lot of good positive occurrences taking place. And of course, there's a picture in the recent same time. And of course, in the background is a picture of Mr. Frank Deasy, one of the organizers of the bank.
And you've been friends and affiliated with American Bank many, many years.
I was a
On
board
of
member
directors?
at one time, and had a whole lot of stock. And then with some selling of companies and mergers and all that, I still have quite a bit of stock. So good bank to do business with, American
There
Bank.
you go. What else we got? Man, we got 6 minutes left and so much that we can talk about. You had a good time in Mamou.
Yeah, last week I spoke about, I showed a picture of Guru while I was renewing my driver's license. And I met a young lady, Myra Gilbo Lonclo. She was there with her brother, Kenneth Gilbo. And Myra's grandmother, Mrs. Vivian LeBlanc, age 91, watches the program every week. Good morning to you, Miss Vivian LeBlanc, 91 years old, still interested in watching the program. So she said that was right after I had just done my program, I guess, over here. And I had spoken about the death of Mary Ann Mesh. She said she knew Mary Ann very, very well. So to our new friends, and of course, they feel they know us real well.
How about good morning to Sid Crawford, who's one of the big guys over at CLM Equipment. You know CLM Equipment down there just south of Lafayette? Mr. Sid Crawford, I got a chance to meet him last week, spoke with him at lunchtime, and he says, you know, one thing, he had no idea where I was from. He says, the one thing I see is the young men from St. Landry Parish that we have that do most of our repair work, they're all conscientious, hardworking, tremendously good with their hands. And I sat down there, and he had no idea what parish I was from, but he talked about St. Landry Parish, about how we're producing some very talented mechanics out of this area. So I thought it was kind of a neat thing. If you go to CLM, you're helping local people.
Very, very good. I have a couple of articles that I cut out of the Morning Advocate. And this is in the Business Services Directory. And they're speaking of Dupre Logistics. And the top of the ad, it's a nice big ad, and it says most comprehensive, innovative pay package in the chemical driving industry, Dupre Logistics. It's the average annual pay is $73,000 to $77,000. Can you imagine?
That ain't too bad.
Dedicated and regional runs, a $2,500 sign-on bonus. Now,
That ain't too bad.
if you have a good, clean driving record, You've been driving a few years a tanker truck. You have all the WIC and the CDL with the hazmat certification and all. I would suggest you get in touch with Dupre Logistics at their main office in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Guaranteed weekly pay, bonuses. They do a lot of that good stuff.
Per diem.
And you can make overtime.
And great package of benefits, life, health, dental, all that part of retirement package.
They are good folks.
And then there was another article, and this I think was in the USA Today, and sail into history with the Queen. The whistle blows, the paddle wheel churns as champagne flows. Get the celebration of a lifetime on board the Grand American Queen. Be among the first travelers to make history on American Queen April and May voyages, which is right around the corner. And the extraordinary dining overseen by famed American chef Regina Charbonneau. You know what her maiden name is?
What's that?
Trosclair. Her daddy was Mr. J.P. Trosclair. Joe Fred's real close. That was just like a daddy. Mr. J.P. was like a daddy to Joe Fred. Joe Fred, dad died right after, actually Jimmy is the baby of the family. Jimmy Gaccio, Dr. Jimmy Gaccio. And J.P. kind of, you know, he was the older, I guess, person they looked up to. Let's put it that way. And Regina, of course, I know her very well. We saw a restaurant that she was operating way back yonder in California, Sonoma, California.
No kidding.
And she's back in Natchez. She works out of Natchez, and she's got a beautiful place where she has bed and breakfast and food and all that good stuff. So nice to see locals making it big time. And what we have
minute and a half left.
Oh, yeah, minute and a half left.
You can start winding it up.
A house of beauty, and it's a Brobridge man creates an elaborate wooden archwork. And look at that picture, the birdhouse builder, Mr. Douglas Landry. And he'll build you a birdhouse any way you want it to look. Isn't that? And look how different these are right here. And he looks like a man that will take the time to take your order and build you exactly. And you want to know more about it, you call him at 230-4726. Point Breau, Louisiana. I bet he can talk a little French to you at the same time.
They do that over there in Point Breau, I believe.
And we want to close the program. Each week we suggest that you consider attending the church of your choice.
Mardi Gras over. It's now Lent time.
Lent time. In fact, we tape on Wednesdays, and this is Ash Wednesday. We have to go to
get our ashes right after this.
Right after this, we go get our ashes. And we close with a thought, or you might call it a prayer. My Father, I give you thanks because you take care of me. May your will be accomplished in me, through me. Thanks for viewing, thanks for listening, and thank you, Andrew, for the assistance.
Thank you, Chief.